morning. Welcome to NewsWire here on SportsGrid. I'm Craig Mish. As we get closer and closer to the heat of the NBA playoffs, approaching a full second round, we've got a recap and preview of all of the games going on tonight and a look back at what happened last night as well. In fact, my co-host on Fantasy Sports today, Davis Maddock, will be with us a little bit later in the show, so stay tuned to that. Pat Evans joins us from Legal Sports Report. We've got a sports betting legal update going on in Minnesota, so make sure for those of you who are living out there, you'll want to stay tuned for that as well. Also, Matthew Letovsky joins us from Sporting News to put a bow on the NFL draft. And we have the SportsGrid Soundoff taking you around the National Hockey League as well. Those are some of the things that we're working on here on the show. But of course, there are some other headlines that we need to get to surrounding the sports betting space. And the first one begins the story that just continues right now and has taken an interesting turn, that the interpreter for Shohei Ohtani, Ippei Matsuhara, apparently had all of the money that he stole from Shohei Ohtani sent over to a sports book. This is correct. $500,000 payments Ippei sent from Shohei Ohtani's bank account to an illegal bookmaking operation that were forwarded to California and Las Vegas legal casinos, where the money was deposited in gambling accounts and then converted to playing chips, which were later cashed out to pay the bookie. Now, of course, the alleged bookie named Matthew Boyer, he is the one that took Mitsuhara's bets, was a customer at the casino. He paid his losses through Boyer's associate, who forwarded the money to a marker, which is what is called when the money comes out in chips in a casino. Then the men withdrew the chips from the marker account, gambled with them, and if they won, they cashed out. So another twist and turn to the story of Shohei Ohtani's now former interpreter. In the NBA last night, boy, what an incredible game. Let's just be honest. Doesn't matter if you're a Knicks fan or a Philadelphia 76ers fan, but Philadelphia is not going quietly into the night. They defeated the New York Knicks yesterday, mostly in part to Tyrese Maxey. Maxey had a career game, folks. 46 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds, and they won in overtime despite the Knicks leading late. New York still leads the series 3-2 as this heads back, of course, to an incredible scene that's going to happen in Philadelphia. No doubt about that as they head back to Game 6. Tyrese Maxey talked about the end-game shots that he made in regulation and obviously winning this one in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we had to get some threes up. I mean, I just tried to get to a spot and raise and shoot. Thankfully, he jumped, and I didn't get my feet set like right away to shoot it. So I was able to just kind of lean in and make a shot.
And what about the other one at the end of regulation?
I mean, that's just a lot of reps, going right, throwing the ball out, chasing it, and Rico been on me all year about shooting the deep ones, and I've been working on it all year, so it pays off. Going through my mind right there was just find a way to survive. Like I said, our season's on the line. I mean, like, I trust my work. I trust what I've done all my life, and just try to get to a spot and raise up and knock a shot down.
Let's see if Jalen Brunson can respond to Maxey's performance. These guys have been going back and forth. Now, Indiana Pacers, Milwaukee Bucks, a way more competitive series than anybody could have imagined as the Bucks pulled this one off last night thanks to Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis. Of course, they were underdogs in the game. They win outright, and it wasn't close. 115-92, the final in this game yesterday, as the Pacers just seemed to go back and forth with Halliburton. It's one good game, one bad game, one good game, one bad game. That's sort of how it's riding right now. But again, a Game 6 is coming up. Middleton will be, of course, the focus. Who knows if Giannis is going to play? Damian Lillard still so uncertain with all these injuries going on with the Bucks. But Middleton talked about getting off to a great start and a big win and surprising win in Indiana.
I want to come out and be aggressive, set the tone. I've been in this position many times before, so just come out, be aggressive. I think that was just my main focus. And then, figure it out from there. I think after a couple misses, I think I took one or two bad ones and just, tried to play the game after that. Pat Bev talked to me a little bit about what he was seeing, about the crowd I was drawing, and, he was right. So after that, just tried to, find guys, whenever I had the ball. Yeah, it's just, it starts with our defense first, be able to get stops, and then play at our pace, whether we're pushing it or, we're playing through sets or it's just controlling the game. I thought, Pat Bev, Pat Connaughton, everybody that was handling the ball, they did a great job of picking and choosing, when we're going to slow it down a little bit, but also when we're going to run and push the tempo a little bit more.
And they've been playing great basketball. We'll see if it will translate as they continue. Meanwhile, another series is going 6 games. The Orlando Magic came up just short last night against the Cleveland Cavaliers, almost flipped the series, but Cleveland now leads the series 3-2, 104-103 the final yesterday. Another big game for Donovan Mitchell, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. The Magic, of course, covered that 5-point spread, almost won the game outright. All right, well, the NBA on NBC could potentially be coming back. NBC Sports is working on a $2.5 billion package to air NBA games, as Turner Sports could be losing the NBA. NBC is trying to pull off, as we would say, a late game steal, and the NBA, of course, is negotiating this. And by the way, Inside the NBA, which is a show on TNT, if it does not stay on TNT, it will move over to NBC or even potentially Amazon. So that will continue. The network NBC aired games from 1990 through 2002 with Michael Jordan riding high during that era. Meanwhile, Kristaps Porzingis riding low, not going to be playing, it looks like, several games. He's got a calf strain, will be out for the Boston Celtics as they take on the Miami Heat in their next closeout game. Porzingis didn't appear to be touched by anyone, but naturally was in a walking boot after the game, and a calf strain is definitely going to hold him out for several games, so don't expect to see him unless they continue, which is certainly possible as they have a closeout game coming. Meanwhile, the Knicks will be without Bojan Bogdanovic. He's undergoing season-ending surgeries for his wrist and foot injury. He's been dealing with the wrist since Sunday's Game 4 over the 76ers, so do not expect to see him back again unless they make a late run as well. And by the way, another game without Kawhi Leonard, which we'll preview coming up tonight, against the Dallas Mavericks. Kawhi going to be off the court yet again. The series is just incredible going back and forth, but Kawhi not going to be a part of it, at least for tonight. Now, the Los Angeles Angels have the best player in the past decade in Major League Baseball. There's no debating it in Mike Trout, but unfortunately his career looks a lot like Ken Griffey Jr.'s torn meniscus for Mike Trout. Going to miss an extended period of time with surgery, the S word that nobody wants to hear. A really tough blow again for the Angels and again for Mike Trout, who has struggled to stay healthy. No timetable on his return. Ellie De La Cruz is red hot for the Cincinnati Reds. Check out this. He's got 18 stolen bases now on the season, which is more than the entire Cubs, Rockies, Twins, Giants, Cardinals, Rangers, Tigers, A's, Diamondbacks, White Sox, Marlins, Pirates, Yankees, Blue Jays, Astros, and Mariners teams individually. Crazy stat there. Jack Flaherty faced his former team yesterday. He struck out the first 7 batters of the game. Of course, he used to pitch for the Cardinals and did a great job, finished with a career-high 14 strikeouts in 6 2/3 innings for the Detroit Tigers, who have been a surprise this season in Major League Baseball. And speaking of surprises, last night, the Colorado Rockies got off to a 5-0 lead against the Marlins, who had lost 7 games in a row. They end up losing in extra innings, which means they have trailed in 29 straight games to start the season, which is a Major League Baseball record since 1910. My gosh, come on, Rockies, get together just a little bit. All right, in the National Hockey League, we had some closeouts last night. Let's get to them. Colorado Avalanche defeat the Winnipeg Jets. They move on to the second round. Final score 6-3. No surprise, Colorado wins the series. The Carolina Hurricanes, they defeated the Islanders by a final score of 6-3. They also win the series 4-1. So we have some hockey moving on. Zach Wilson, meanwhile, former quarterback of the New York Jets, was traded over to the Denver Broncos. Broncos announced yesterday they are not going to pick up his 5th-year option, which should be the least surprising piece of news I deliver here on the show. And also, the Jacksonville Jaguars have released Zay Jones from their wide receiving core. All right, coming up next, the NFL Draft is in the books. Lots of trades happening, of course, including the Philadelphia Eagles setting a record for it.